What if retirement isn't simply an ending but a beginning, a canvas waiting for new colors, crafted with the wisdom you've gathered through decades of living? If you find yourself reflecting on what comes next, now that career demands have quieted and routines have shifted, you're not alone. This chapter, uniquely yours, brings immense opportunity. Today, we'll explore what it really means to create a meaningful retirement, one that honors your experiences and sets a course for thriving, not just passing time. After years of building families, sustaining careers, weathering triumphs and losses, you've assembled an extraordinary collection of skills and stories. The challenge now isn't just filling days, it's discovering the ways you want to feel alive, useful, and connected. Let's talk about steps to not only manage retirement, but to actually craft a rich, rewarding chapter filled with purpose and joy. First, let's talk about redefining purpose. For so much of life, our sense of purpose is tied to roles: working, raising children, tending to households, supporting loved ones. When those roles evolve, some folks feel adrift, even if they're looking forward to less structure. A meaningful retirement asks, who are you now beyond titles or to-do lists? Purpose doesn't need to be grand or public. It might involve mentoring a neighbor's grandchild, tending a thriving garden, or championing a cause in the community. I invite you to consider what makes you feel valuable. When have you felt most yourself? Reflect on this, not just as an exercise, but as a true north for cultivating meaning in retirement. The practical step here is to carve out a few quiet moments, maybe in your favorite chair with a cup of tea, to jot down 3 activities or connections that spark excitement or a sense of contribution, no matter how small. Revisit this list often. Let it guide the choices you make. Another insight: embracing lifelong learning. Sometimes the world likes to pretend wisdom reaches a peak and then slowly ebbs away, but nothing could be further from the truth. Think of artists who created their best works late in life: Georgia O'Keeffe painting well into her 90s, or Laura Ingalls Wilder publishing her first Little House book at 65. Your brain and spirit thrive on curiosity. Whether it's mastering a new craft, diving into genealogy, or tackling a language you always meant to learn, the act of learning brings fresh energy. It can also serve as a bridge to new friendships and passions. How does this enhance your quality of life now? Lifelong learning helps keep you mentally sharp and emotionally engaged. It's also an antidote to the narrowing that sometimes creeps in after retirement, when social circles shrink or routines become too familiar. The practical way forward: check your local libraries, community colleges, or online platforms that offer courses for seniors. Even picking up a new book and discussing it with a friend counts. Commit to trying just one new thing in the next month. Notice how it feels to stretch in a new direction. Let's reflect together for a moment. What's something you used to love learning about, or a topic you've always been curious about but never pursued? Share your thoughts in the comments if you'd like. We have a community here full of wisdom and shared interests. Now let's shift to nurturing meaningful connections. Retirement can bring surprising shifts in social life. Routine workplace interactions and the daily hum of family life may quiet down, leaving more space but sometimes also a sense of distance. Yet research and common sense remind us that deep relationships are vital for a long, healthy, and satisfying life. The beauty of this stage is you get to choose which relationships to deepen and which to gently let go. It might mean reconnecting with old friends, joining local interest groups or faith communities, or even venturing into digital spaces designed for older adults. Just as gardens need tending, so do our social connections. A simple phone call, a handwritten note, or a regular coffee date can reignite old bonds. And don't underestimate the joy of new friendships. Sometimes the best conversations come from unexpected places. A practical step: make a short list of 2 or 3 people you've lost touch with or would like to know better. Reach out with a message, a call, or a simple invitation. If social anxiety feels like a barrier, remember, you're likely offering just the kind of warmth and connection someone else craves too. If you get value from what we have presented, please like and subscribe to help us grow our channel, Ageless Intuition. Next, let's talk about rhythm and routine. Retirement often promises endless free time, but in reality, too much openness can lead to feeling aimless rather than liberated. Some days you might relish long, unstructured hours. On others, the hours can stretch uncomfortably. There's wisdom in balancing structure and spontaneity. Consider the difference between 2 approaches. One retiree wakes each morning without plans, assuming joy will arise. Another gently structures the day with movement, time for creativity, a bit of social connection, and rest woven in. The second often reports more satisfaction and fewer feelings of restlessness or sadness. It's not about rigid schedules, but about developing rituals that mark the day and week, perhaps a morning walk, a regular card game, or a Wednesday volunteering shift. How does this benefit you now? Reliable routines anchor us when the external world feels unpredictable or unstructured. They help orient the mind and bring small but consistent pleasures. Practical action: experiment with setting 3 anchor points during your day. These might be meals, walks, or connecting with someone you love. Let them create gentle structure and adjust as you learn what feels restorative. Let's pause here. What routines or little rituals ground you today? Whether it's reading the morning paper with your spouse or tending to houseplants, share your favorites. Others may find inspiration in your cherished moments. Let's discuss pursuing health as a foundation for joy, not as a numbers game. The focus at this stage should shift away from strict fitness goals or chasing youth and toward feeling well and energized, body, mind, and spirit. Sometimes the noise around wellness can be discouraging, especially if it's about anti-aging rather than graceful living. Research supports what many of you already sense: moving in a way that brings comfort, eating foods that nourish and delight, tending to sleep and relaxation, and seeing your medical partners as allies, not adversaries, all support a life that feels steady and enjoyable. For some, this means neighborhood strolls; for others, gentle yoga or water aerobics. For some, simply stretching at home and enjoying music or fresh air. How does this boost your quality of life? The right approach preserves your independence and adds ease to daily activities. It also enhances mental clarity and even mood. Practical step: check in with your body without judgment. Are there small ways you could add gentle movement or relaxing routines? A simple stretch before breakfast, a trip to the farmer's market, or prioritizing restful sleep tonight? Identify one change and give yourself the gift of consistency for a week or 2. Let's move on to creative expression, often overlooked, but deeply nourishing. Retirement gifts you the resource that's most precious. Time. Your experiences, even the painful ones, can be transformed into stories, artwork, music, or crafts that express your unique voice. You don't need to paint a masterpiece or publish a novel. What matters is allowing yourself space to play and create. For some, this means writing life stories for grandchildren. For others, returning to skills left behind years ago, like woodworking, sewing, or singing in a local choir. These acts of creativity invite joy and reflection while leaving a tangible bit of legacy. How does this support flourishing now? Creative acts foster a sense of agency and ongoing growth, reminding us that new beginnings are always possible. Practical step: choose one simple creative project. A photo album, doodling in the margins of your calendar, or jotting down a family memory. Give yourself permission to do it just for fun, not for achievement or perfection. Now let's talk about giving back and the power of legacy. As you reflect on the arc of your life, you may feel a tug to pass on lessons, offer comfort, or shape the community in ways that outlast your presence. Sometimes the desire to help is quiet. For others, it's a lively itch to be involved. Big or small, the ripple effect of your wisdom can be profound. Some find fulfillment in volunteering with local schools, organizations, or charities, bringing years of experience to a new generation. Others write letters to young relatives or mentor neighbors. Still others focus on sharing family recipes, stories, or traditions that build a sense of identity for grandchildren and beyond. How does this add meaning? Knowing you've contributed to something larger than yourself often brings immense peace and deep satisfaction in later years. Practical step: consider where your gifts and interests meet a need. Could you read at the local library, help with a community garden, or share a skill with a friend or neighbor? Start with one small act that feels manageable and notice the sense of fulfillment that follows. Before we reach our final point, remember, if you've found any part of this conversation helpful or uplifting, please like and subscribe to help us grow our community here at Ageless Intuition. Your participation makes this journey richer for everyone. Finally, let's recognize the importance of savoring simple joys. Retirement provides room to appreciate moments that once disappeared in the rush morning sun through the window. Scents from the kitchen, the warmth of a well-worn cardigan, the sound of loved ones' laughter. Life's real happiness is often found in these little pauses. This ability to savor, to practice gratitude for what is rather than longing for what was or worrying about what comes next, is a special strength, one that often ripens with age. Some keep a small notebook to note a daily pleasure. Others develop rituals like sipping tea in the garden or greeting neighbors on a gentle stroll. How does this deepen your days? The more you train your attention on gratitude, the more beauty you see, and the less likely you are to be caught in regrets or anxieties. Practical idea: try ending each day by recalling or jotting down one thing, large or small, that brought you comfort or delight. Over time, you'll have a treasure trove of goodness to revisit, especially on hard days. Let's reflect together. What's one simple joy you appreciate more now than you did years ago? Share your thoughts below. They may spark gratitude in someone else reading today. When we take all these insights, purpose reimagined, heartful learning, nurturing relationships, balanced routines, body sense, creativity, giving back and savoring, something beautiful happens. Retirement becomes more than a stopping point. It transforms into a richly woven tapestry where wisdom and wonder intermingle. You have decades of lived experience. These steps simply illuminate ways to let that wisdom shine, both for yourself and for those lucky enough to share this part of the journey with you. If you've enjoyed this conversation and want to keep exploring ways to thrive in retirement, please like and subscribe to Ageless Intuition. It's a gift to grow our community with thoughtful people like you. Thank you for your presence, for your insights, and for the life you've lived so far. May this next chapter be both meaningful and joyful. I look forward to hearing your stories and reflections below. Thanks for watching. Tap that like button and subscribe if this brought you joy today. We're growing thanks to wonderful folks like you. Wishing you a peaceful day, wrapped in warmth and love.